I'm Kim Qatari, this is Midnite Boxed In. I'm surrounded by 11 football fans who are going to argue against the statement I made.
Where was you at Leeds United the other day? How shit and boring was that game? Do you know what? I'll tell you when I was going. 1981, you had one job to do, beat Spurs, and you couldn't do that!
I wasn't even born! Arsenal winning the Premier League is a disaster for football.
Yes. Oh. Yeah! Come on! Let's go! Vamos!
It's so true, you know?
No. Cook him.
All right, my name is Amenya, honest Charlton fan. And
honest Charlton fan.
Obviously, I'm an Arsenal fan, right? Now, I'd like to start this by just actually getting maybe a show of yellow cards for a question. My assumption is everyone here would like City to win the league, right? Am I correct? Others in league, right? Can I get a yellow card if you'd like City to win the league this season? Okay. Do you know why that is? Because Manchester City winning the league is the most hollow thing possible. It's everyone's next best choice if they can't compete. Why? Because everyone knows it means nothing. Nobody cares. Even when I'm not in the title race, I'm thinking, you know what? I'd rather not see Chelsea win it. Nah, United, no thanks. City, yeah, go on. You go and win it. It kind of justifies your own failure because it's always going to be on the backdrop of, oh, what about the 1-1-5? What about this? Arsenal winning the league would actually be a W for sporting meritocracy. Why would that be the case? Now, don't start putting yellow cards already. Why would that be the case? Because, first of all, we talk about profits and whatnot. There's no sports washing. There's no state-involved ownership. There isn't any backdrop of potential 1-1-5. I'm not going to say anything is true or untrue. This is a rebuild done, sporting-wise, in the correct way. And the reason why people are so upset and angry about it is because Arsenal failing allows them to say, you know what, yeah, cool, we can do it as well. If Arsenal win, it's now like they're looking at their own clubs thinking, if Arsenal can win, then we have no more excuses anymore.
One sec. 115. Sports washing, no one cares. You completed Man City bingo, well done. It's like you just read it from a little sheet on Twitter.
No, but no, it's not a sheet.
115 innocent until proven guilty. Don't bring it up.
Why
bring
did
it
everyone
up.
raise their hand then? It's not because it's Arsenal. When Liverpool win the title race, they'll give the same thing. If it was a Liverpool fan sitting here 4 or 5 years ago.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. You know, and I'm not going to say why, you know why people don't want Arsenal to win the league. For one reason and one reason alone, there are two of you in the room. That's why people don't want Arsenal to win the league. It's got nothing to do with anything else. My argument is that it's bad for football. Football is what? Football is an entertainment industry.
It is.
We agree. Arsenal versus Brighton, did you enjoy that game?
I loved it.
But you didn't though. You didn't enjoy the 90 minutes. No one here enjoyed that 90 minutes. The product this year is worse than it has ever been. This is the worst title race ever. City
it's
are
the worst title race ever.
City are included in that because City are in a transition period where we're playing worse football than we have played probably over the last decade. We're incredibly inconsistent.
So why is that awful?
But the fact that that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that.
No, you're saying it's the worst thing to happen.
No, I'm saying this title race is the worst title race. The product that you are providing, everyone else, is the worst product that we have seen in the last 15 to 20 years.
What is stopping the other 19 teams from playing the Rainbow Flicks? What's stopping you guys?
We had Tim Sherwood on, who said that you should get 0 points for a 0-0 because he understands that football is about entertainment.
How many nil-nils have Arsenal had this season?
There is 0 games that Arsenal
nil-nils?
have played. There is 0 games that Arsenal have played this season where someone, a neutral, has genuinely watched that game and gone, oh, fucking hell, thank God I spent my 90 minutes watching that. After every single Arsenal game, people are going, fuck me, is this over? Is this over yet? Chelsea dominated all game, scored 2 headers. It's rubbish, it's boring, and if you prove that you can win the league like this, that is now the blueprint for more teams. So everyone's going to play like that.
My confusion is, hold on a minute.
Brother, this year has been the worst year in the Premier League.
The worst in the Premier League?
Yes.
And yet
factually, entertainment-wise.
6 Premier League teams are in the Champions League last season.
So you've enjoyed this?
Now,
you've enjoyed the quality of the Premier League?
Do you know why I've enjoyed it? Because when I was busy playing wonderful football under Arsene Wenger, tippy-tappy, Barcelona light, if you will, it was, oh yeah, they're too weak, oh yeah, they're getting bullied by everyone, and rightly so. Chelsea were patting our heads like good boys, United were doing the same. I hear all that, and we weren't winning anything other than a couple FA Cups towards the end. Now, I'm the one that's doing the corners. Now everyone's angry. Everyone is fuming, you're not allowed to do that. Now it's a point where you've ridiculed a team so much for not winning, they're now doing whatever it takes to win, and suddenly it's bad. No one's forcing you to watch. Go watch your own games.
I'm not trying to convince you. I'm a football fan. I love football.
So
I want to spend my time watching football. If I see Arsenal,
so why are you watching the Arsenal games?
If I see Arsenal Chelsea in a London derby, I want to be entertained. I don't want to be sitting there snoozing off my couch after 30 minutes. It's fucking boring. It's dull.
Was it interesting for you as a City fan?
I'm not going to convince you.
We've played one time this season.
I'm not going to convince you. I'm not going to convince you to not enjoy this season.
No.
You are an Arsenal fan.
I'm just going to give you my point, right? We've played you, I can go the last time or the time before that. Obviously, last season, cool, we slapped your head 5 5-1, like no problem. This season,
And you won
guys
what?
came.
And you won what?
No, let me finish my statement. Last season we slapped your head 5-1, a lovely football, no set pieces, no nothing. This season, the first time we played, we haven't played yet the second time. Pep Guardiola came, and he's the one that came to park the bus at the Emirates. Did you find any joy in that one?
The game wasn't enjoyable. The game was not particularly
But
enjoyable.
whose fault was that? You guys
Both.
came to come apart the bus because you
Both,
realised
of course.
if you try to attack Arsenal, you're getting cooked.
Do you really think that I believe that I can convince you, an Arsenal fan who is potentially going to win the league, not to enjoy this season?
I'm asking you why it's terrible for football.
Obviously, you're going to.
I'm asking you why it's terrible for football
because
we didn't mention Champions League.
Because football is an entertainment industry.
And guess
this
what?
Season,
all the other teams around Europe are enjoying what Arsenal are doing in Champions League. All the other coaches.
No, they're not.
Yes, they
You're
are.
not at the centre of the
Yes, they
universe.
are.
Mendia, we love you, mate, but we got somebody who want to get in.
Tag in. ACL.
Lee Judge is Arsenal fan. You like football, being a Man City fan. Jesus Christ, like, you know what I mean? We've boiled your piss, haven't we, like, you know what I mean, like, yeah? You talk about entertainment, boring games. Where was you at Leeds fucking United the other day? How shit and boring was that game? Right? How boring was it? Don't you come on here because you've not been like the last 2 years because it's all fair play and all that. You ain't won it and you're all cheating. Now you're in the real deal. And at the end of the day, right? You, as it was quite rightly said, you come down the Emirates, 10 men behind the ball, you'd have had fucking 11 if old Pep could have brought somebody else on. And at the end of the day, if it ain't going, get the old checkbook out. Is that football? Is it fuck? Yes! Right.
Arsenal.
And at the end of the day, Manchester City, right, fucking wouldn't be in existence if it weren't for the money and all that, like. And I agree what you're saying.
Not
like,
in
you know,
existence.
listen,
Not in
we're
existence.
boiling
Not in
everybody's
existence.
piss and it's
Not in existence
fantastic.
without the money.
Yeah.
Third highest attendance.
Fucking one
Third
with
highest
fucking
attendance.
Stockport. That's where it was. That was
third
your
highest
local derby,
attendance.
Stockport.
Hold on, wait. We moved to the Etihad in 2003.
And it's
Didn't get
still
bought-
empty now.
Didn't get bought until 2008.
Still empty, no
Third
seats.
highest average attendance. Third highest average attendance. You want to talk about
Yeah,
empty
that's for the
seats?
away fans.
You really want to
More
talk?
away fans
You want to
come
talk
in
about
there,
empty
like,
seats?
I've watched your
You want to
games,
talk about
guys.
empty seats?
All
Were
your-
you
all your
going?
fans are that so
Were you
worried
going?
about football. You're all watching us.
Were you
go
going?
1-0,
We-
2-0. Watch the game.
I just want to know, were you going?
Watch the game.
Were you going 5 years ago, or are you one of these like little Ruperts
5 years
who's bought the
ago.
little top now and they
5
think let's go
years
to the
ago.
Etihad?
Do you know
You were
what?
going, were you?
All jokes
You were
aside.
going. You were
Do you
going
know
when
what? I'll
City
tell you
won
when I was
3-0.
going.
When I went to the Emirates
1981,
and
you
there was
had
no
one
one
job
there.
to do, beat Spurs, and you couldn't do that.
I wasn't even born.
Right, exactly. So
Why
we
are you
were
angry
about
at
5
me?
years ago.
Why are you angry at me? I was
5
minus
years
20
ago,
years
football
old.
was a lot longer than that. Manchester City. But listen,
Look.
you've had a great. You've had a great time. But listen, we are pissing everybody off, and I get why. Like, you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, I'm going to say it now. This season, our football ain't been as entertaining as what it was. Right? At the end of the day, we was beating teams 6-0, 5-0 a couple of seasons ago, and people were going second again, and they taking the mickey. Like, now we're doing it a different way, mixing it up a little bit. 4-1 win against Spurs, where you didn't win. 4-1 against Spurs. We mix it up, and at this moment in time, it's just about us getting over the line.
Of course, and that's great for you, and obviously you are allowed to enjoy it, and you should enjoy it. But my point is, if this is the blueprint to win a Premier League, and every manager now follows this, what do you mean, what other blueprint? The Guardiola style of play, the Jurgen Klopp style of play. If the blueprint is now to be this defensive and rely so much on set pieces and go to not lose games and get a couple corners and get a couple throw-ins, if that's the blueprint that every team is going to follow,
go and do it then?
if that is the blueprint that every team is going to follow, do
Why
you
did
not
checkbook-
think?
why did checkbook-
Can I finish my
why
question?
did checkbook Pep
Can I not
do that
finish
then?
my question?
Go on, yeah, but I don't. You know,
If that is the blueprint for every team to now win the league, do you not think that the Premier League, outside of Arsenal, take your Arsenal specs off, do you not think that the product suffers?
Let's get them off. Let's get me old specs off. Put them on the table.
Do you not
there.
think it suffers?
Right. So there's never been when you won the league, or should I say, cheated the league? That's another story. Like,
Innocent
was there
till
not
proven
set
guilty.
pieces? Was there not set pieces?
There was
there
not an
corners?
over-reliance. No, of course there
Pep,
wasn't.
when you was going for the league, you couldn't win the league, right? What did you go and do? You went and bought fullbacks, £50 million fullback here, £50 million fullback there.
Evolution.
You weren't buying strikers,
Evolution.
were you?
What?
Buying defenders.
Evolution.
Why?
The evolution of football.
So now it's an
And this-
evolution.
of course.
It's an evolution. I'll
Guardiola
look that
has
up, like, you know
evolved
what I mean?
football. What has Arteta done?
Listen,
What has he done?
What's Arteta done?
What has he done for football. Guardiola has evolved football, continually evolved football. Everyone has followed that style of play. If you win this league now and teams start to follow it, I can guarantee you every single game will be incredibly boring, like it has been this year.
I understand exactly
like it has been this year.
I understand exactly what you're saying. But not everybody can go out in January and buy players all the time.
Arteta's spent £1 billion and you've won fuck all. He's spent £1 billion and you've won nothing, lad. You've won nothing.
So's everybody else.
Pep spent 105 billion and we've won everything.
You have a centre half, you ain't no good. I'll tell you what, I'll go and buy
another one.
Don't
give me the fucking Oliver Twist pity bollocks. You spent millions.
When's he going to coach?
Please, sir, give me some more. You spent £1 billion.
Listen, you've been 2 years now when you've been caught out with the old fingers in the old cookie jar.
Transition.
Right? You've been caught, right? You've been in the old cookie jar. Get out of the old cookie jar. In you go, right?
What cookie jar?
And all of a sudden, you're worrying about effing everybody else. Why can't you win the league?
What cookie jar?
Why can you not win the league without cheating?
Dude, calm down.
You can't
calm down.
do it.
Calm down. We
you
will win
you
the league.
You cannot do it.
We will still win the league.
Next year?
This year, we will win the league.
You can't do it because you know why you can't do it. Because you can't get your hand out of that cookie jar.
We'll win it this year. And then what will your excuse be? You spent in January. You spent in January.
But you can't beat Nottingham Forest. Where are Forest in the league?
Dude, you couldn't be Wolves.
But they're away. We're away.
Oh, yeah,
You're
of course.
You're
the famous Molyneux.
All those fans on top of you. Come on. This is City. This is everything.
It is everything.
The biggest club in Manchester. I mean, Stockport. Biggest club.
No, facts. In Manchester. The only club in Manchester.
Listen, it's
all
about winning at the end of the day. Like, you choose to cheat to win.
You don't know that. You don't know that. You don't know that. You don't know that. You don't know that.
Let's have a little bet.
Wow, you cheat to win all the bloody time.
When have we cheated? When have we cheated?
When have we cheated? Against us. Robert Pires against Portsmouth. That's a cheat as well.
You're actually hilarious. You're so funny.
My name's Maz. I'm a Brighton fan. And my statement today is Fabrizio Romano needs to be banned from football.
Facts.
Coming in.
Oh, hello.
Boo.
We've got a big dog in the building.
We've got the Fabrizio apologist.
I'm Louis, and I'm a Chelsea fan. Tell me why. I want to understand why.
So, Fabrizio, look, it's not a personal attack. I just feel like he is more...
You trying to send me back?
Yeah. There's more negatives than positives when it comes to Fabrizio, right?
Okay.
So, first of all, number one, he claims to be a journalist. Now, for me, there's no journalistic... What's the word? He's not. Yeah, integrity. That's the word. Thank you very much. There's no journalistic integrity with him because, first of all, as soon as a couple of days ago, he done a tweet saying about humanitarian aid in Saudi Arabia. #ad in one of his tweets. Now, for a journalist to be doing paid promotion, first of all, is mental. That's insane.
Great.
And then the subject matter. That's a different video for that one. All right. So, first of all, as a journalist. To be paid to then tweet certain things, to influence certain things is diabolical, in my opinion. Then number two, allegedly, he gets paid to tweet about players, about interest in players. You know, there's lots of stuff that he puts out there about some random 18-year-old in the Bundesliga 2 being the next big thing. But why? Like, first of all, where's that come from? And he'll just be like, yeah, there's big interest in the player, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, come on, mate, we all know you're getting paid behind the closed doors. Allegedly, getting paid behind closed doors. And that just all his integrity out the window. So there's the two big ones. I just feel like he's a sellout, essentially. You know, he's meant to be this source of reliable news, but yet he's so influenced by essentially money, again, allegedly, that he... I don't want to get sued by him.
Are we doing this for free, by the way?
Yeah. Absolutely. But yeah, I just feel like he does not help himself.
Okay.
If he wants to be this journalist and have this reputation in the world, he's not helping himself in any shape or form.
Could you not argue that he has worked hard to get to that point by being a journalist?
But it's built on what? Built on lies, built on bribery, built on, again, allegedly, all these things.
Yeah, allegedly. I'm going off what we have, not what
I just want
alleged.
So I don't just keep saying it. This whole thing is alleged, all right?
It's alleged.
Yeah.
Just check it.
Alleged. Yeah.
Okay. So, for example, when he started his career in Naples, covering Italian football there.
Maybe he got corrupted along the way. Maybe that's what happened. His journey got corrupted.
Like the Wonder Kid or something.
Yeah. FIFA career mode. He just went like that. Did he? Well, but how do we know? Wait, hold on. So you know his career from the start to finish?
Not completely, no.
Right.
But I know that he was an Italian journalist.
Okay.
He worked his way through.
Who did he work for?
He worked, I think it was an Italian, I think it was a Neapolitan radio station.
Right, okay.
He worked for Rai Uno, which is like the Italian sports guys, like BBC for in Italy, basically.
Right.
Worked The Zone, all these places. So he's had coverage and he's worked at major outlets. Okay. So he's, you know, by trade he is a journalist.
But you can ruin your reputation along the way, right? Like
Absolutely,
just because you're got this reputation to start with, and that's how you built your name, doesn't necessarily mean that now you still stand for those values or for the image you built yourself up.
What's your solution then? What do you do differently?
Get him out of football.
Okay, then what?
Take away his Twitter account, ban him off X, yeah, number one, and then I don't know. You know, I agree that like, look, it's unfair to say like I think banning from football obviously is a very heavy statement, right?
It's huge,
and it's quite impossible, I think, really.
Yeah.
Because he can then just take away his journalism title and just be influencer maybe, but at least that's more honest. I feel like he's lying to the people by saying he's a journalist. He's actually an influencer, which is fair enough. And he makes good money. He's got lots of followers. Great. Buzzing for him.
Could you not argue, though, for example, David Ornstein, other guys at
Legend,
Break News,
absolute goat of the game.
Agree, he's great,
because he's got journalistic integrity.
Yeah, but then, for example, they break the same stories, they credit each other breaking the same stories. But if you're saying get rid of Fabrizio Romano, you're saying, I was about to make a really good point.
Ornstein, Ornstein the goat. Who wants it? Come on.
My name's Joe Gilmore, and I'm a fan. So, first of all, your whole argument is alleged, right?
Yeah.
You haven't given me one take here which isn't purely alleged in terms of bribes.
But it's so obvious, though. It's so obvious to everyone to see. Come on, we've all got eyes. Yeah. We've all got brains, hopefully.
Show the proof.
I don't know. I don't have his bank statements. I'm sure if we were to get hold of his bank statements.
Your whole argument's built on fuck all so far. So, my reason why...
One was true.
That's fine. So...
Well, yeah. Sorry, just quickly. He's made a very good point. I've got to bring it up. So that hashtag ad...
Yeah.
That suggests he's got paid money, right?
Why are you pocket watching? That's absolutely fine for someone to do.
No, but as an influencer, yeah, cool.
Nothing to do with
but
what he does.
As a journalist who's providing
Saudi Arabia's not going to Real Madrid. Who's asked about? That's not like a transfer news or anything like that. Who cares?
But it's okay. But as a journalist, do you think that's the way he should be?
Is he not a public figure?
Loosely.
Is he not a public figure?
Loosely, no.
Right, Fabrizio
What do you
Romano.
consider a public figure?
Fabrizio Romano.
Yeah.
Why he got big, in my eyes, from what I've seen, is because he was always the first.
Yeah.
Unless
How did he get that news? How did he get that news first? Go on. How did he get it first?
He's built relationships,
built
credibility.
Okay, he's built. Okay.
Sorry, he's good at his job.
No. But how do we know that though? How do we know that he was like, look, because of my because he's built his platform, right?
Follow him.
Who, me? Do I follow him? Yeah, of course.
Hey!
Of course I do. Of course I do.
Don't get me up
No, of course I do. Of course I do.
Of course you follow him because you follow him because he's the first person.
No. Listen. Okay, look.
Is this alleged or is this you actually make a point here?
What I will give him credit for is that he has got obviously good connections. That I think that we can all agree on. But now he's got this big.
Yeah.
He understands that he's got a huge influence. Whatever he says is pretty much taken verbatim, right? When he announces something, we all expect it to happen. Would you not agree? Come on, yeah, we do.
Transfer rumours are transfer rumours, though. You don't even know if you
No,
never know if it's bob on.
But this whole image he's got is that he's the oracle and he knows everything.
Yeah.
But so and he's built that on his connections, right, to an extent.
Okay.
But I think now he's got to that level. Now he's so big. He's like, right, how can I monetize my platform? And that's where his integrity goes out the window because he's thinking now, okay, I can make a lot of money here.
Yeah.
I can make so much money with the platform I've got.
Yeah.
And look. Fair enough. Look, we probably all would do it in his shoes, but I'm not in his shoes. So listen, I'm not in his shoes, so I can shoot him down. So I feel like
Brighton would be...
The yellow card's not for me, mate.
Listen.
The yellow card's not for me, mate.
Listen. He's made. He has done. I'll throw myself up here. Yeah. Right. He has now got himself to such a big platform, right, that I think he is now just thinking about the money. And he's just thinking about how can I monetize my platform, not for the benefit of I want to break news first, I want to be that guy that knows everything. He's just simply doing that just to basically fill up his own pockets.
So your statement is that he's bad for football, he should be banned for football.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring something else in. So I'm sure you remember, I don't know if it was last year or it was the year before.
Sorry, there you
go.
Go.
I don't remember if it was last year or the year before.
Yeah.
We all remember that little lad who said, "There we land."
Yeah.
And he came up and everyone was buzzing. That never happens. if Fabrizio Romano. You've got lads in their bedrooms, right?
What does that mean, though? What does that mean? What, someone looks up to Fabrizio?
No. So, can you tell me 20 years ago, a little lad in his room would be like, when I grow up, I want to break transfer news? No, but now you look at Romano, and you've got kids making up little sayings and stuff. But I think that's great that he inspires kids
but is he someone to look up to? That's my point. Is he someone to look up to? In my opinion, no.
Well, can you not argue
Also,
is he the best in his field?
No. Ornstein, GOAT.
Ornstein's
There's other very. There's other.
But is he up there? Is he up there?
No.
Indy Callier.
Top 5.
Is he
Indy
up there?
Callier.
Indy Callier.
Right, can I say one thing? This is one point.
He's been paid by KFC.
This is one point I haven't brought up yet, and this is what I wanted to drop this point as well.
Go on.
He has also a big factor, which also makes me really upset about his influence in football. He's taken the whole magic out of the transfer window. So the transfer window was an amazing thing, right? Remember, look at 10 years ago. Yeah. You're watching various news outlets. They'd be doing live updates, breaking news. Yeah. And as a fan, you'd be like, oh, I didn't hear. Literally, in that moment, you're like, bam, mate, the geezer gives us updates about when someone's going for a piss. Like, we don't care. Like, why are you updating us when there's been a text message from an owner about interest in Garnacho? Like, I don't care, mate. I don't care. I just want to know a credible source.
So you're telling me for 100% certainty, right? If Fabrizio Romano is banned, that's never going to happen again.
No, of course not. No. But I'm.
It's not just him. It's not just him.
He's not going to come on the show, man.
But he's so.
I'm trying to make an argument here. Sorry, I'm winning.
No, you're not.
So if you remove Fabrizio now from that situation, that is just going to happen. And the reason why that's going to happen is we live in a hyper 24-hour news.
I do get that. We want the
Sky
news.
Sports to be doing.
Okay, let me argue this. Would you rather have credible, very strong news rather than just something really quickly reactive that might hit your receptors that quick? Oh yeah, I've got that little buzz. I've got that little.
Sky Sports do that now.
Yeah, but they're falling into the trap, unfortunately. They all are. And this is, I think, it's a wider problem. But I just feel like he adds to the problem. We don't benefit from the way he actually goes about his business. I think that's what frustrates me with him. I just feel like he is now so easily bought that why should we listen to the words of a man that has clearly shown on multiple occasions, by the way, not just the Saudi Arabia tweet, that he has been influenced by outer forces. Allegedly.
Well, I just feel like if, in terms of pay partnerships...
Also, as well, if we want to get into that road, he's also rehabilitated a lot of players that have got very bad images. I won't name names, but there are some very suspect players out there.
Which is not something I agree with.
Okay, so that's another factor, though, that I feel like I brought at least 5 or 6 points that accumulate to him being a terrible part
Well, I can't back that, so if you want to get your cards off...
Let's go! I finally got a mini win. For a mini man.
Kim Qatari, Man City fan. A lot of your arguments, first of all, as Joe said, are alleged. Secondly, let's be completely honest.
As a Man City fan, I get that. I hear it.
And again, as a Man City fan, most of us would do a fair amount for a dime.
Innocent until proven guilty, right?
The fact that he gets these opportunities is because he's built up an unbelievable contact book, which is probably the hardest thing to do as a journalist, especially inside football clubs, which are so secretive. He has unbelievable links at pretty much every single football club.
But my question is, sorry, just quickly, my question is, how has that happened?
I don't care how it's happened, though.
But why?
I don't care.
So ethics goes out the window now?
But
that's crazy.
Brother, in every single industry in the world, we were talking about it before, in the football industry, it's all jobs for mates. It's all who you know.
But it doesn't make it right. Just because something happens doesn't make it right.
Yeah, but you're picking on one guy. Then sack almost every journalist who's in a job.
Because have you seen Ornstein doing a TikTok ad or doing some kind of advert for something? I've never seen that in my life.
Yeah, but the reason that Romano is doing that is because he's so successful that people want him to do that. He's so successful.
What, the Saudi Arabia government want him to do it?
Yeah, of course they do. He's so successful because he has so many followers because he's always the first with the news. I agree with you. The one point I agree with you. I remember getting in the car at Edinburgh Station and out of absolutely nowhere turning on the radio and we'd sound Robinho. Yeah, I started crying, bro. I was 11 years old. I literally started crying because I couldn't believe it. Now, obviously, you check your phone, you know it for days. Yeah. But the thing is, the unfortunate thing is the fact that we're in this room now is that football has been taken over by social media. We're in a social media age. Yeah, we're in a 24-hour news cycle. You want it as quickly as you can possibly get. Same with transfer news. When we were in talks with Erling Haaland, all I did was went onto Romano, put notifications on, put my phone on loud and just left it there. Every bing, just waiting. Because he's the best. He's the first and he's the best. And he's the best because he has the best contacts. Whatever he does outside of that to make more bag, Fine.
Listen, well done for him for making his bag, right? But I just feel like there's more ethical ways of doing that, especially in his field. I think that's what irks me, is the fact that he is essentially monetizing, again, like I said, monetizing his platform, but then also sort of taking the piss a little bit out of people that, putting out certain information. But where is he getting that information? Why is he tweeting about a certain player 8-9 times? Like, there seems to be a pattern that keeps occurring, and you're thinking, well, why is he doing that? Like, you start to question his integrity. Why is he tweeting about this player so many times? Why is he doing that? And does that? I don't think that makes him the best. That was your argument. You're saying he's one of the best, and that's why we sort of listen to him. But why is he the best? You've got to question, how has he got to where he's got to? By doing certain things, in my opinion.
See, the problem is, the how is where he's got to is not an issue for me. First of all, it's all alleged. I understand what you're saying. I think there's a few things that he does, like tweeting about certain players, and it's probably, maybe not because he's getting paid, but maybe he's like a friend with an agent. You understand that that's probably part and parcel of it.
But is that okay, though?
It doesn't matter if it's okay or not.
So he's influenced transfers. He's influenced the money being paid for players. He's influenced what player goes to what club. Of course he has.
I'm not sure he has. I think he's elevated. I think he's elevated the profile. I think he's elevated the profile of certain players. But you're not going to realistically.
But as an impartial journalist, should you be doing that?
If you're Werder Bremen, you're not looking at Fabrizio Romano's tweet and going, "Let's buy him."
No.
You're doing a lot more research.
Of course.
So,
but he's definitely got a big influence, right?
For sure. But my point is, what he provides is way worth the fact that he does a couple little ads and he does a little things with his agent.
Let me ask you this: how far can you go with that then? So let's say we just let him do a couple of ads. Where does that finish? Where do we draw the line in the sand?
But why do you care?
But it's all about what do you mean you don't care? So what? So for example,
David Beckham does adverts for Qatar.
For example, let's say he'd done an advert about the war, for example. Is that okay? Are we just going to allow that because he's got 27 million followers?
But you could say that about anyone. But you could say the same argument about anyone.
Of course you could, yeah. But he's the one doing it right now. He's the one doing it right now.
But what he's doing isn't bad enough. What he's doing is not bad enough.
What?
To negate.
Okay, hold on. So, because what he's doing right now is not bad enough, we're just going to let him just keep going until we finally.
But what you're talking about is him doing an ad for Saudi Arabia. That's what you're.
That was one example, but he's done other ads in the past. He done one a couple of months ago as well.
Famous people with a lot of followers will always be paid to do stuff and to get their voice amplified to their audience. By brands.
Of course.
That is the way of the world now.
I think we're getting into...
Denigrate
I'm not saying we can't monetize
that.
influencers or content creators because we'd all be out of a job. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying in terms of the ethical side of things, and also as a journalist who's meant to remain impartial in his field, I think that actually has an effect on his integrity as a journalist. I think that's the key thing here. He's not an influencer. He's not a content creator. He's a journalist. That's the key thing.
But the journalism that he does, 99.9% of the time, is absolutely unbelievable, accurate and quick.
I disagree with all the points I made earlier.
I'm Lou Beneventi, a Chelsea fan. My statement is, I don't think, should Spurs get relegated from the Premier League, they come straight back up from the Championship.
Oh.
Hello, mate.
You up, Brendan?
Not bad, mate.
My name is Brendan.
I know it
I'm a Chelsea fan.
Yeah.
We're both Chelsea fans, right?
Yeah, we are, yeah.
And we both hate Tottenham.
Absolutely.
We despise them, right?
Absolutely.
And we would love to see them get relegated, right?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be funny.
We're fine. Okay, but we both know that a club of Tottenham's size, if they are to get relegated, with the facilities that they have today, bear in mind they will lose players, would just come straight back up. It might not be as easy as they would expect it to be, but I don't see Tottenham finishing outside the top two, and I really don't see them going for playoffs. I just see them finishing at least first or second, realistically first.
And why is that?
Because, as I said, they will lose players, right? But then, again, a club of Tottenham size will still keep players. It might be a project where there might be players who will stay behind to ensure that they get promoted straight back up. I just don't see in a world where Tottenham get relegated and stay in the Championship for more than one season. They had to come straight back up. We've seen it with Newcastle. We've seen it with many teams that are relatively big teams who have been relegated, as if they haven't been relegated themselves, and they just come straight back up. And again, it won't be easy. I don't think it will be a walk in the park because many teams will come to Tottenham Stadium wanting to show and prove themselves. But at the same time, I just don't see a world where Tottenham get relegated and don't come back up straight away. It just doesn't happen.
So straight away, Tottenham's wage bill is still going to be the highest in the Championship by a significant amount. So as of yesterday, when I checked this, Leicester's wage bill is £88 million a year, roughly. Spurs would be on £130 million a year because they've got relegation clauses in their players' contracts, allegedly, which takes it down from 260 to 130. With that being said, a lot of the players are going to leave, and that includes selling their top talent because the EFL are going to be very, very strict on their policy in terms of how much Spurs money have, and obviously the PSR stuff, which people discuss all the time, yada, 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 yada. With that being said, they will also have to contend with the fact that they'll lose a lot of sponsorship. AIA has a contract with Spurs as their front of shirt sponsor to the end of next season. That contract probably has a clause in it as well where they'll have less revenue as well. So everything is kind of working against Spurs where they'll lose their best talent, they'll have less revenue, and they're going to be relying more on Beyonce and Niles to have more concerts there than ever before. So realistically, it's kind of all adding up against them, especially as well, let's just talk about Spurs and their mentality. We could talk about champagne football. These players aren't even champagne football at the minute. They're not even Prosecco. That's harsh to Prosecco. It's Nosecco. There's nothing going on there.
That's right.
So, you know, realistically, should all these players leave that already don't want to be there because they're promised Champions League, they're fighting relegation for the second year in a row. Maybe not the second year in a row, but they were down there for the second year in a row. Spurs have not gone forward. Financially, they will lose more money. Their best players will go, including their best young talent, which will go to other clubs. I see a lot of issues for Spurs in terms of how they're going to have to deal with things.
The thing is, I do agree that them being relegated will be catastrophic for them because they'll just lose so much. And as you said, the wage bill that they have is currently so high. In the Championship, that will be even worse, right? So we can definitely establish that. For me personally, I also agree that they won't be able to attract top European talent because why would a top European talent in Ligue 1 come down to the Championship for the reason why would someone from the Serie A come to the Championship as well, and so on and so forth. But they will still be able to get players from England who know, let's say you have a few top Championship players who know that they can come up to the Premier League and that they're good enough for the Premier League. They would want to jump ship to Tottenham, knowing that Tottenham have been relegated. Tottenham are probably going to pay them more than what they pay at their current clubs, and they would do what they can to get to Tottenham and then get them promoted. I do agree, I can't stress this enough, that Tottenham, it won't be a walk in the park. I just believe a club of Tottenham's size, in the sense where they have the stadium, they have the facilities, they have everything, it won't be easy for them to get relegated. But there's too much investment into Tottenham to allow them to just rot. That's how I feel. Because at the end of the day, as much as I hate to admit it, I don't see Tottenham as a big club, but they are a bigger club. They've won many accolades and so on and so forth. So I do not see them just getting relegated and then just going even further down and staying and rotting in the Championship.
So do you think that top Championship talent would be enough to get them out of the division with all the financial issues they're facing as well? Newcastle used an example.
It depends, yeah, go on.
Newcastle used an example. They still had elite-ish in terms of Championship to Premier League standards, talent, but also their wage bill wasn't as big. And because Mike Ashley was in charge financially, they're in the doldrums a bit where it was kind of just shoestring budget. So if you had to compare that, Spurs have got the inflation of massive budgets and the pressure.
Let's just hope that Spurs get relegated anyways. That's what I got to say.
That'd be funny, wouldn't it?
We all agree with that.
My name's Maz, I'm a Brighton fan. So I feel like with Spurs, first of all, they've got a very young squad. So they've got some really good players that can play in the Championship. You look at Archie Gray, look at Bergvall, look at Vuskovic, who's out on loan at Schalke, I believe. Who else have they got? They've got some really good young talent, right? And you'd expect them to stay. So going
Lucas
down...
Bergvall's already said that he'd probably end up leaving. There's already rumours of him going to another club.
Did he come out of his mouth?
He didn't come out of his mouth.
No, okay. So they've got a
a
very young team. They've got some very good players that could drop down to that level and be very good. Archie Gray's already done it at Leeds, and I feel like they've got players that can adapt at that level. And then second of all, new rule just came in today. Top 8 teams now. Top 8 teams will go playoffs or promotion, right, back into Premier League. So that's an extra 2 places that Spurs can potentially get, even if they do have a terrible season.
Is extra 2? Was just 1?
As in, if they make it top 8, they got a chance to go back up.
Yeah. Okay.
So that, combined with how good the talent they've got already, I feel like it's a no-brainer that they come back up straight away.
With those players, like I've already said, a lot of them would need to be sold because financially...
Most of them are Championship players anyway. So, do you know what I mean? They're already at that level anyway. So, there's not much really that needs to be going on. No, but let's be real about it. I'm actually not even trolling here. I genuinely believe a lot of them aren't even up to Premier League standard. I'd say maybe 4, 5 of them are like actually good players. You look at maybe Van der Ven at centre-back. But generally, I feel like that squad now is already capable of doing very well in the Championship. So, if a lot of them stay, which again, there's lots of ifs, buts and maybes. I think that's the one thing. Until you actually know that they get relegated, you don't know who's going to stay.
Yep.
You don't know who's going to do what. Like, what's the structure going to be? What's the wage structure going to be? I think there's a lot of ifs that we don't know yet until it happens. So I think it's quite difficult. But I feel like with the size of the club, the amount of money, the amount of fans they've got, the reach, obviously, like Brendan mentioned, the pool they'll have, especially at the championship level, they'll be able to attract the top players in the championship. I just think there's just too many factors in their favour for them not to come back up.
So we talked about big clubs in the championship.
I made a lot of points, so I apologise. we'll try and dissect.
So let's take those big clubs in the championship mindset.
Yeah.
I think there's some which just don't make sense in this argument. So Leeds, take it out. They were in the doldrums financially, just absolutely fell apart.
Why? They don't count?
When they went down, it's a different situation.
Why?
They're in administration, like they were done.
Right,
Leeds.
okay.
So I'm not going to put them in the conversation. Sunderland, on the other hand, weren't. They went down again. Wolves, when they went down from the Premier League, pretty all right Premier League club, went down again. The whole club is too big to go down and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I didn't mean it
think
quite
adds
like
up.
that in terms of like just because they're a big club that they automatically come back up.
Of course not.
But I think in terms of the infrastructure, as much as people, or Spurs fans, have to hate on Levy, I feel like he actually done quite a lot for the club in terms of making sure that they're actually in a good position, especially financially. Whereas now I feel like, they could get a bit lost potentially if they were to go down. Obviously, they're going to lose so much income from the Premier League, but parachute payments, that's going to come into it. And like I said earlier as well, with the whole playoff system changing as well, that will play into any sort of team that's been relegated into their favour as well. So I just feel like there's just, I agree with you in terms of just because they're a big club doesn't mean they're going to, that doesn't get you, it only gets you so far, right? But it does have a lot of capabilities to attract players, better players, to attract, pay them more money. I just feel like at that level, they're too big to not go up within the first year.
Okay, but Southampton as well.
Yeah.
They're a pretty big club in terms
Are
of
they as big as
championship
Spurs,
standards.
though?
Not as big as Spurs,
Are they as
no.
financially secure as Spurs?
Well, I mean, you just mentioned parachute payments, Premier League money. Spurs are going to lose, again, a massive chunk in terms of all that revenue and European football revenue. So all of that's going to go. Half the sponsorships probably. I'm sure Nike have probably got something in that contract to say, lads, we paid for you to be... maybe not see you later, but like, we paid for you to be a top 6 Premier League club. The thing is, Spurs is completely geared because it's so unprecedented that in this era that a team like Spurs could go down, that financially the implications I think would just absolutely demolish.
But I still
the club.
think even if, let's say you take the finances from, I'm just making up figures here, but like, let's say they generate 300 million, for example, and that goes down to 100 million, for example, for argument's sake. That's still that combined with the pulling power they'd have, and also that I'm assuming the wage structure will be able to reflect that. They'll still be able to attract better players at a better quality than, let's say, who's in the Championship now, like an Oxford United, for example.
Oh yeah, Oxford United, absolutely, they'd be able to. But I mean.
And that's who they're competing against, though, in the Championship, right?
No,
respectfully, that's the kind of level they're now playing against. They're not playing against Man City, Liverpool. They're now playing against, respectfully, lesser opposition.
But do you not feel potentially that...
Granted, they're going to lose their players as well. So they're also going to go down.
Their biggest talents are going to leave. Mickey van der Ven's probably one of their best players. In fact, I think he is their best player, and he'll go. I think Xavi Simons, again, it'll be like workplace policy, first in, first out, because they're the most expensive ones. So all these players that they've signed to improve their teams will all go. They will all leave.
Like, what about that young nucleus that I spoke about earlier?
Like Archie Gray and players like that?
Yeah.
Well, like I said, Lucas Bergvall is, already angling for a move. It's already coming out in the papers from quite reliable sources that he's looking to move on. And there's no smoke without fire in that situation, is there?
But I saw like a made up 11 if Spurs were to go down. They
talk me through that.
I think I saw Kinski. I think Danso will be in there. If we're going to play the Bergvall card, I'm still going to play it. I know your sources are there, but we don't know that for sure. Then Archie Gray, and then I suppose. Oh, and then Vuskovic, like I said.
Okay.
He's
I know nothing about him, so
I think he would. It would make sense for him to stay there, just because he'll get guaranteed game time. I know he's playing it in the Bundesliga at the moment, but I think he'll get a bit more game time there. And then I suppose, maybe in the forward areas they might have to recruit. But again, I think, go to Brendan's point, they can recruit the likes of the top Championship strikers that haven't been promoted. They'll bite their hands off to go to Spurs. So I think, they'll have a good squad in.
But does that give them almost more of a guarantee that they'll go up? If you sign the best Championship talent that hasn't got out of the Championship, maybe there's a reason they've not got out of the Championship.
I agree with that, yeah. But combine it with the old squad, and then you're buzzing.
Okay,
up we go, up the Spurs.
Okay, fair enough.
Did I win?
No, by the side of things, I think you
Yellow
do.
card up the Spurs is a yellow card.
Fair enough. That was Midnight Boxed In.
Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe.
And if you disagree with anything, put it in the comments down below.
Not by me though, because mine was great.
Yeah, mate.
You're cooked. You're cooked.
We're cooked, mate.
You're
You're getting
getting
sued.
sued.